here at the lab, and Nick is sitting outside. This is the first time he's about to see his first real race car that he's gonna race professionally. I'm building it for him. Nick's gonna be the driver, Beast Motorsports. He's sitting outside and he's gonna see for the first time what's about to go down in the next couple of months. So, without further ado, let's see what this guy thinks. All right, Nick.
I get to come in.
Yeah.
I get to see it. Kyle loves surprises. With my side-by-side, the E92 race car is always a surprise. Like
Totally.
I can't go in and see it until he's ready. All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Ooh, dude, this thing is sick. Look at that. Oh my God! I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be bigger. I like the size of this thing.
Yeah.
So you're calling it a three-quarter
A three-quarter trophy truck.
three-quarter trophy truck?
Because
Holy crap!
when this thing sits on its meat, which is, this is also kind of hilarious.
Wow.
You turn around.
Holy shit!
So right here, these are the meat she shits on. These are brand new Pro Comps. Love you guys, by the way. Thank you for your lifetime warranty.
We'll probably need it, I'm
These
sure.
are 40 inches by 13 and a half. So I don't know if you know what 40 inches is, Nick, but that's more than 3 feet tall.
Holy
That's
smokes.
8 inches less than 4 feet tall on the ground.
Wow. So these are 40s?
40 inches tall.
Wow.
So this little side-by-side looking little giblet here sits on 40-inch tires.
Holy smokes. It's like, it's such a good size.
Yeah.
It's, you know, when you see it in pictures and things like that, it's hard to visualize how big it is. It honestly looks much bigger than it actually is.
Yeah.
Like this thing just looks
Nimble, right?
nimble and flippable. Yeah,
Dude,
man.
okay, so
Oh,
side-by-side has how much horsepower? How much does your Razor have?
So my Razor right now is probably like 110 horsepower.
Okay.
It's a 1,000cc motor, and it probably weighs, you know, 1,400 pounds without a driver in it, and it's got about 100 horsepower, 110 maybe.
Right. Okay, so now you see how small this thing is.
Yeah.
Kind of small, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit bigger than the Razor as far as scale goes, but this thing has a V6 engine in it from a Chevy, so a car engine in it. It's a V6, 6 cylinders.
Okay.
It's a 6-cylinder engine inside of a side-by-side.
Oh, man.
So it's basically a truck engine powering what will be an even lighter frame with 40-inch tires, so hopefully we can get this spin ridiculous.
Whew.
Full hydraulic steering.
So where's the motor's out of what you said?
It's a V6 Chevy.
Okay.
What it's out of doesn't even matter.
And so this is just an NA engine, right?
Yep.
Okay. Did you say that you do have plans to put a turbo on it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Custom USL. But I think this thing's already gonna be putting out a little bit too much horsepower.
As it sits right now?
Yeah, right here.
How much horsepower do you think it has right now?
Maybe like 250, 230.
And then what do you think race weight on this thing will be once you're all done?
I have no idea. I literally, we're finishing the drawings today. Stay tuned. Finishing the drawings today, so that's gonna really judge what our overall weight. So I'm not even gonna throw any numbers out there.
Dude, this thing is super cool. It's not that big.
No,
I love
it's not.
that. I
It's
love
not.
that.
It's so fucking cool. I saw this and I was like, oh my dear God. And so you gotta look closer because, dude, this has custom made axles by a company that does this. So like if you look really close, like there's machined fucking logos inside of the axles. Wow. This has all been custom
Look at
made.
this.
Dude, it's no fucking joke. It's
this
no
thing
joke.
is massive.
Yeah.
What do you call this? This is like a, is it a control arm?
It's called like a 4-link suspension. It runs on a 4-link type of, I've built a couple of these for race trucks. So like the idea is that like it just has an independence. A solid rear end will, like with leaf springs, it doesn't have any independence, so the whole rear axle just slams. And you get what's called spring wrap, and the spring actually turns into an S shape. Regardless, you have all these problems with torque, with getting the horsepower out of the ground. So they have these 4-link systems, you know, they use them in sports cars, trucks, whatever. And then basically, I mean, think about your RC cars and how they have trailing arms and stuff. Well, a quarter scale trophy truck is actually why I call it a trophy truck, because I'm actually gonna reverse engineering this. So it has the same type of geometry.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I
It's
see.
the exact
okay, I see
same.
that. Yeah.
It's the exact same setup. It's actually a really similar wheelbase. And this is quarter scale. So that's why I call this a 3/4 scale trophy truck, because we'll be sitting at the, just shy of a wheelbase of what a real trophy truck would be.
So trophy trucks, I guess on video and things like that, they just look absolutely massive. I've never seen one in person.
Right.
So you're saying that this is similar size to what a...
So they're absolutely massive, because this thing is sitting low on my lift, because actually I can't fit it in here and work on it on my lift. This thing sits at a minimum. Look how low the axles are.
Oh, dude, look at those tires.
At a minimum, the axles are
my
right here,
God.
which means the roof, at minimum, is sitting up here. So what I'm telling
my
you, like,
gosh.
trophy trucks are fucking huge. This thing is fucking huge.
Wow.
It's no joke.
That is massive.
Yeah, so
Were
I'm
those-
6'3".
And those were on it when you
Yeah,
pulled it in.
yeah.
6'3", that thing's
6'3".
up to your waist. And it has to be like that to manage all the suspension travel and everything?
Suspension travel.
Clearance.
I mean, if we're going 150 miles an hour over a dune that's 4 feet tall, it behooves you to have 2.5 feet of travel.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna feel like a couch.
Massive suspension
Because
travel.
we can't handle that. Like, our bodies can't handle that, but the suspension can.
It's really neat.
So,
I
Nick,
love seeing it in person.
So Nick, you will be the pilot of this, which is why it's so important that you see it, because it's the scale of it is the real deal. This is going to be a professional Baja vehicle, and we basically are going to go through the process of figuring out what that takes, because we know that we have to start from scratch. But that's why it's so cool that you guys get to see what it is starting from scratch, literally.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited. I don't really understand how I get to be the one to drive this thing. So I'm 100% stoked, and I'm on board, and we're just going to go through this process and show you guys the build. We want to race this thing and maybe one day actually compete in the Baja 1000.
Years down the road.
But
yeah.
so we're going to kind of figure out where we start with that.
Maybe 100 miles at a time.
Yeah, exactly. Is it
Yeah.
the Baja 1000? That's the big one.
Yeah.
That's the
yeah.
big boy.
There's 500s, there's 100 miles.
Guys that are winning that have friggin' helicopters following them.
Which is, we'll be there someday.
We'll get there someday. We'll have a helicopter someday following us while we're ripping.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna drive this thing, and Kyle, co-pilot right here.
Yeah.
Navigator. I mean, this is gonna
Navigate
be
engineer.
This is gonna be absolutely
Designer.
epic, man.
Yeah.
I just feel very fortunate to be involved in this whatsoever, and Kyle does awesome stuff. Union Speed Lab, Beast Motorsport.
Yeah.
Kind of joining arms and doing some really neat stuff and taking you guys along for the ride.
Hell yeah.
Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We appreciate everybody for watching and supporting the channel. We're just trying to bring this really cool content and experiences to everybody.
Check this out, like they even laser cut the Samurai logo in the back.
Samurai, what kind of company is that?
Well, it's based off of a Suzuki Samurai. The little, if you could imagine like a Geo Tracker. They had Suzuki Samurais. And so if you look at the front of this, it has, it's Jeepy, Samurai, all that same little small SUVs. But up here in the front, you can kind of get a sneak peek of what I found inside of this form here, which you'll see in the drawing here soon. Front of this thing looks like kind of like a Jeep, and you've got the little dividers like a Jeep does, but Jeeps are slow. This ain't gonna be slow. So basically I'm gonna cut that out, and then I found some Polaris Razor new marker lights, fog lights, and so I'm gonna buy those, and those are going in here.
Oh, really? That's cool.
And here.
So you have been drawing some inspiration off of my the Trail S out there.
Yeah, because a lot of these forms, the panels, and then in here will actually be a headlight. That'll be the circle right here. It'll be a projector beam. Because it's sitting so high off the ground, I have to have a projector beam. And then this gets cut out, and basically I'm gonna continue this shape at an angle, and I'm gonna have like a central mounting point, and that's when the fair lead will come out of the winch and whatnot. So you can see there's some sort of symmetry there, but I'm trying to bring more structure to the center of the vehicle. And that's what I'm trying to achieve through the back. And I'm gonna start to play with my carbon fiber tubing.
So it's gonna be, so carbon fiber tubing, you're gonna try to bring some of that into this.
Yeah.
That is really, really cool.
Yeah.
So Kyle kind of wants to innovate and do a bit of a like carbon fiber tubing and roll cage.
Yeah.
And we talked about doing that on the E92 M3,
Yeah.
which is something that we might try to do at some point in the future. So it sounds like that's what you're going to do to this, is kind of start to mess with that. And then you talked about carbon fiber like armor or body panels,
correct.
or
And so if you go look at Nick's side by side, in this previous video, we put in some carbon fiber inserts inside of his roll cage. Essentially, if you look a little bit closer, I know there's a lot of tape, but you'll notice that a couple of these really geometric panels represent similar forms to what you found on Nick's razor.
so these are going to be filled.
Exactly what I'm gonna do here is take the carbon fiber and make these flat panels, and we'll etch our designs into it and do all that. And I'm basically gonna create like an armadillo skin with individual panels as opposed to huge panels. And it'll be way lighter than a full panel.
And
if we
strong
have
and
damage,
safe.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yep.
And if we have damage, we don't have to replace a whole panel. We can focus on one piece and we'll save costs that way, because we're not gonna have a lot of money in the beginning. So we're gonna just have to like do things like this up front, so we're planning for ahead, because I'm also planning for speed of how fast I can do these things, because, you know, as a driver, you focus on driving. It's my responsibility to make sure it's working throughout the race. So I'm really trying to think about even how these tabs are connected and whatnot. You can see it.
Yeah.
Trying to use all the tabs for the connection points. So, and then areas to save, like there's no reason to have this here close, so I'm gonna actually cut these tabs off and reuse them in places there aren't tabs, and then leave this open because our asses are right here. This is just, we want air where, you know, it can go through because it's just tubes. So if I can draw air through and protect ourselves, our knees, hands, this is a grab bar, super cool. This will be carbon fiber because it's gonna hold our mirrors, because there's no mirrors.
What if we get a stick or something that just goes?
That's why the seats, you know, wraps up
Gotcha.
here. You got a
Yep.
carbon fiber bucket, you know. I bet our ass will be here, and then the side of the seat will be here. So the point is that anything that comes in,
Yeah, you're going to be protected.
yeah, and then if there is, of course, add something so that it can't. But the point is to only add it in points where we need it for protection.
So to start, the engine's going to stay in A,
Yep.
and we're going to kind of see how that goes.
Well, I'm doing a full custom exhaust. I'm rebuilding it right now. It's got EFI, so electronic fuel injection. The brakes, I mean, I can't show everything because I'm gonna do a custom braking system where only the rear brakes are on drift brakes, independent left and right. So Nick's gonna have one handle that splits into two, and he'll be able to drift in control left rear or right rear. So
Wow.
It's gonna be an actual mechanical apparatus. So he never has to take his foot off the gas. He can just control his brakes with his hands. So that's the goal for that. But I'm not gonna show you that because it just requires a little bit of like innovation. I want you guys to see that at the end and how it works, because that'll just be a fun surprise.
For sure.
Yeah.
And this is kind of just you know, the base, the ground level. We wanted to show you guys what it looks like, kind of where Kyle's starting, and then you know there's going to be a ton of stuff that he goes through and figures out. Really, you have free reign to kind of do what you want to this thing.
Yeah, but also we don't have a big budget at all. So like, I'm committing basically a lot of my time and my effort, my knowledge. Basically like enough time is 2 months. But the point is that no, the budget's not big. It's a short build. I have to get it done. I can't do everything. So I've chosen a couple of things for innovation. And I'm gonna focus on those and just make sure that the things that are here are flawless and they work perfectly, and do the couple pieces of innovation and then finish it, race it, and then, you know, continue on the other areas that might actually have a bigger dollar price tag and not a time, because time is what I have to give. So
So this will be it'll be a long-term process.
Oh, for sure. But it's 2 months is the goal. So 2 months meaning at 2024, this thing will be rolling, and Nick and I will be back here, hitting my big jump you guys saw, and we'll be actually testing this to get ready for our first race. 2 months. So I'm working on this every day. Next, we're gonna go inside and we're gonna go over the design because the design's done. So we're moving, and Monday it gets cut up. So 2 months. We gotta be rolling because that's the budget right there.
Yeah.
So
we're building this thing. We're not really sure where we're gonna race it or how we're gonna race it. That's all stuff that we're gonna figure out. But I'm super excited to be involved in this and to be able to drive. Kyle knows that I love to drive.
Yeah.
I mean, every day all I do is think about driving, whatever it is. Car, side by side, now a 3/4 trophy truck.
Exactly.
I'm along for the ride, man, and I cannot wait to kind of see what we do with this thing. And Kyle is a smart, awesome guy, man. Like he's gonna do cool stuff, and we're gonna do cool stuff together.
Yeah,
Like,
Union Speed Lab, Beast Motorsports. You guys just gotta follow us so you can figure out what we're really about, because there's so much more than just motorsports that we want to influence people through. So follow along because we're gonna do some seriously cool stuff in the next. I don't even know how fast because this is happening way faster than that.
But you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to start somewhere, and you just got to get rolling, man.
Yeah,
so on that
here we
note,
are.
make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We appreciate everybody for watching and supporting the channel. We're just trying to bring this really cool content and experiences to everybody. This is stuff that we love. We love motorsports.
Yeah.